Hey, this is Cameron. Welcome back to the Busy Gardener channel. Hey, today we are going to do a quick look, 1-year update for this passion fruit. Let's get busy. Okay, well, if you were watching this channel about a year ago, you may remember that we had this big chain link fence put up a couple years ago because people were coming into the yard from this walking trail and taking some fruit. And I thought, okay, let's make sure that this thing gets protected from that. And so what I wanted to do was to create some sort of, well, first of all, put up a fence. But then once the fence was up, it just looked so fancy. There's that fence, and then there was my neighbor's fence and another fence behind that. And I wanted something to just kind of help enclose this thing, especially because we had gotten rid of these really big dying eucalyptus trees that were right here. And so I looked into edible things because I like stuff in my yard to be edible. And so what I settled on was this passion fruit vine. Now, this is going to blow your mind. I don't even know if you can see it from here. This, from where I'm standing right now, which is kind of really the edge of the passion fruit over here, all the way to the end over there is probably a solid 45 feet. All the way covered by passion fruit. And I want to tell you, this is a single vine. I originally was going to plant the second one, and well, first of all, the soil was really bad. The root ball fell apart and it died. But I want to just show you some of the stuff that was going on. So I ended up planting just a single vine, and it crept and it crept and it crept and it crept, and it has covered this entire section of fence. And then some. There's you probably see the wood over there, and it's climbing onto my neighbor's yard. He's getting some passion fruit out of it too. So I want to talk through a little bit about what the passion fruit is. Well, when you think passion fruit, you're probably thinking of a tropical fruit, and you'd be right, because passion fruit is a tropical plant. What it does is it's really known for are its flowers, which are all closed right now, but you may see some up here. Here's a flower, there's a flower, there's a flower, there's a flower. And these passion fruit flowers are the most gorgeous. They're very complex. They've got a lot of structure and shape and color, and really one of the most gorgeous flowers that are out there. It's going to be hard to find when this is the earlier morning, and so all of them are closed up. They kind of open up as the day goes on. Yeah, trying to just find some examples of it here. But passion fruit is a fruit that generally is going to fruit year round. We just picked off, a few weeks ago, we picked off like 100 fruit. We've come through, we've picked fruit over and over and over again. And there's just tons of it. I mean, this single vine has produced for us a few hundred fruit. At minimum, it didn't have 1,000. Not on its first year. But I don't know if you can capture it, but this thing is totally loaded, and they're not open right now. But I mean, if this is any indicator of what I'm looking at, the entire vine in this 1 square foot space, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flowers. Maybe there's some even hidden. There's some on probably the other side of the fence as well. So I'm having to pick off of both sides of the fence. And, you know, as I go through here, just probably every 5 feet, there are probably another 30 or 40 flowers. And so as we go along the vine here, oh, here we go. Here's the start of a little fruit. Here's one that's already started. And so it's kind of nice. If you like passion fruit, you'd be able to use it. We found that we either just like to eat it fresh, or my brother, who's living in Brazil now, has a... down in Brazil, they use them in kind of like cocktails and some different drinks and that. And so we've tried to experiment around a little bit and do it the Brazilian way. And so that's been good. That's been good. If you like the flavor of passion fruit and the consistency, it has these seeds inside. I'd like to find a passion fruit on the ground to kind of show you what they look like once the fruit is established and ready. Here are a couple. Here are a couple down here. Okay, so these are passion fruit. This is what they look like. When they first are coming off the ground, or off the vine rather, they are a little bit more smooth, but then as they ripen, they get more dimply. and more wrinkled. And when it comes to it, you want them to be more wrinkled. The more wrinkled, the better the flavor it's going to be. I don't know if it gets a little more sweet or not. I think that it probably does. What I found is that I don't even need to pick these off of the vine. I found that when they fall on the ground, that's actually the best time to just scoop them up. And then I just have them in a bucket, and then we have them to eat. Here's one that has more recently fallen. You see how smooth that one is? And so this thing is gonna sit, if I were gonna grab one out of the box to eat, one of these wrinkled ones is one that I'd go for before I'd go for this one. You want it to kind of soften up, ripen up, season it a little bit. You may be able to see on the ground, we have a lot of wildlife around here, critters. And so, look at this one, totally hollowed out. Here's one the critter must have not figured it out all the way, got run off or something, but left some of it in there. Now, passion fruit for some people is kind of an acquired taste. I know my wife, she doesn't like it. She doesn't like the consistency, she doesn't like the smell, she doesn't like the taste. Whereas I do like it. I like the crunchiness of it. It reminds me in some ways of chia seeds, but they're a little crunchier than that. Chia seeds are soft, but these are larger than that. And so sometimes you can strain out the juice. I haven't done that. I've just thrown the whole fruit in there when I've used it. So I'm very excited about this. Come out here. It's like an Easter egg hunt. Every single time we want to get some passion fruit, we just go around and try to find the fruit that we want to use and go for it. But I love that this thing produces so regularly. I love that it is growing so vigorously and happily here, and that it grows kind of in an everbearing way. You know, there's a little bit of overlap, kind of like some of the everbearing citrus that we have, everbearing. You know, they've got busier times than others. And so right now, as you can see, this thing is just flowering and looking awesome. So if you're considering doing, and you live in a warmer climate, and you're considering doing some sort of cover on like a fence or something like that, or even a wood fence, you can see that it really looks beautiful growing along something like this. You may consider the passion fruit if you like passion fruit, or maybe you have neighbors that do. I have a bunch of friends who do. One of my friends, he took like 20 of them, and I think he tried to eat all 20 of them. And passion fruit is very fibrous, so you can get an idea how that turned out. Okay, I want to show you where the vine is. Here's a single vine right here in the ground. You see it starting here? This was bought just as a single deal here, and it just has gone up, and I trained it. I kind of directed it to kind of grow outward, but it took off. It has a mind of its own. It's growing on both sides. There's a little bit of training. You want to pay attention to get some of the initial stuff, but now I don't even think about it. It's doing its own thing. It's covering it up. It's giving us fruit. I couldn't be happier. Let's go take a quick look at the one that I just planted this year to cover this side of the fence. I could have just taken a snippet of the other one and planted it. They seem to transplant pretty well. So this passion fruit has not been as vigorous or growing as well as the other one, although it's showing some signs of life. It's flowering here. It's got some good green growth. So I'm happy about that. And so this is just gonna need a little bit of extra care and attention. I've made sure to fertilize it. I've made sure to water it in regular intervals. So not quite sure. Every plant is kind of its own individual. So we have big hopes for that one. But just to give you some perspective, that is what that looked like a year ago. It's really unbelievable. Well, I appreciate you tuning into this episode of The Busy Gardener, where we took a quick look at my passion fruit vine here, just feet and feet of it. And yeah, what questions do you have? What have you used to successfully grow on the back of your fence? I've got other fencing areas that I want to be able to utilize. And maybe you're doing espalier trees, maybe you're doing grapevines or something like that. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, would love you to do that now. And then you'll hear about stuff when you hit that notification bell. All of that stuff helps, and it makes me feel oh so good. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you've got one vine on your fence or 500, until next time, stay busy.